At Club Mayak, the start of the evening is always painted with possibility. The primping points to the freedom of these men to belong, to be who they want to be. That stage as much a refuge for the performers as the club has been for the clients for nearly a decade. This is the resort town of Sochi, host of the Olympics this year and a long-time gay getaway. It's why the owner moved here from Moscow.
We don't have another city this small anywhere in Russia that has a gay club. We used to have 3. They used to joke saying Sochi has 1 McDonald's and 3 gay clubs.
As Russian cities go, Sochi then is an exception, or so it seems.
This is my home. It's a home I love. It's a home, this is my home I built with my own imagination, parts of it with my own hands. And I can't live here anymore. It feels like hell.
Masha Gessens is a family that feels at home in Moscow or its outskirts, but with 3 children and 2 mothers, it doesn't easily blend in. That's never been reason to leave until now.
We're moving to the States because they've made it very clear, by they I mean the parliament and various politicians around, that they intend to take our children away.
It's the latest proposal in what Gessen describes as a growing gay-bashing campaign. As an outspoken activist and writer, Gessen has borne the brunt of it. Her family's been called perverted. Critics send her death threats. A politician volunteered to adopt her children. It was never perfect before, but it's never been like this.
All of a sudden, it's like back to the Dark Ages. And that, that particular setup sort of makes you feel totally exposed. There isn't a closet for you to hide in.
To be gay in Russia today is possibly the toughest since Soviet times, when it was a crime to be gay. As the debate rages, for the first time really, church and state weigh in, even some media, painting homosexuality as one of Russia's most dangerous threats.
Activists point to the attitude at the Kremlin as the root of the growing intolerance, that it's a reflection of the president's own beliefs being enshrined in law.
Vladimir Putin recently signed a law seemingly aimed at muzzling gay voices. It bans information about non-traditional sexual relations around minors, including any talk of equating same-sex families with traditional ones. Aptly, the law was conceived in St. Petersburg, Putin's birthplace, and also home to a sizable gay community. The author, a conservative lawmaker who says it's a perfect reflection of Russia's traditional family values.
It means that Mr. Putin is a traditionally very strong person. He supports Russian families and he supports Russian kids from this disgusting information. It was like a protection, preservation against a disease, spiritual disease going from some countries.
Such language, like the timing of the law, has been explosive. On the eve of the Olympics, it drew wide condemnation, including from Canada's government. Activists clamored for a boycott. Many Russian gays believe the law is also stoking homophobic hostility at home, even encouraging violence. There are suddenly reams of online videos, apparently, of gay teens being shamed, beaten, and in this one, even made to drink urine by vigilantes who say they're hunting pedophiles. Hard to verify, but in this one, a youth lured into meeting another of the same age is ambushed by a gang. Many are inspired by this man, a notorious Russian ultranationalist who started a group called Occupy Pedophilia. We found him through Russian social media and reached him in Thailand, on the run from unrelated charges of extremism.
And I can show him to very many people light lynch. I don't know how to say lynch without finish.
Most of what he said is unairable. He did say if he found out his son was gay, he would kill him. He was eventually found and arrested in Cuba. Back in St. Petersburg, computer programmer Dmitry Cheshevsky walks the streets nervously since he was attacked. He's certain it was motivated by homophobia. He was no gay activist, but he's been outspoken since.
And they were standing right here?
Yes, I was right here, and I was inside.
The office belongs to a gay community center. One of the masked assailants, armed with a pellet gun, shot Cheshevsky in the eye.
So when they shoot me, I started to hide. They yelled me, where are you running, faggot? And started to run, pursued me. When I was hiding, they hit me 2 times with a bat.
Given what happened to you here, how dangerous is it for gay and lesbian people here in Russia?
I'm afraid now it's very dangerous for gays and lesbians. I'm afraid for clubs, gay clubs. I'm afraid for gay organizations. Now it's very dangerous. Doctors saying that I will never able to see with it. I can see very small dots of light, and that's bring me hope. I don't know how to say it.
Small glimmers of hope.
Yes, yes.
Cheshevsky says his disability should be on the lawmaker's conscience. A few minutes across St. Petersburg, Milonov says such attacks are a deliberate fabrication.
They have tears in their eyes when they're especially trying to show themselves and express themselves in front of a foreign camera and say that they just want to live, they just want to have a normal life. Mm-hmm. Do they really understand that this is sodomy? Do they really know the history, that all the empires ended with this sin?
We have a very distinct separation of church and government, and so those religious decisions do not enter into law.
So it means that you're producing mentally sick people.
It means we live and let live. Live and let live.
It all seems a long way from the tolerance of places like Sochi's Club Mayak. Yet even here, off camera, some told us that beyond these walls, to be openly gay is to be shunned, seen as deviant, as pariahs. The owner's own partner says he wants to leave. Still, Tanichev says a boycott of the Olympics isn't the answer.
That would achieve nothing but more aggression against gays. This would be totally wrong.
Konstantin Yablotsky agrees. He came out just after winning gold in a 2010 gay competition. He believes hosting the Olympics may actually prove powerful in shaping Russian perceptions.
Because when Olympic champion says that it's okay to be gay, you can be successful, you can do sports, you can win medal, we are not marginal society or sodomite society. Because I believe that games change the world.
His group of activists still ask the International Olympic Committee to investigate the new law, whether it contravenes the Olympic Charter. Support has come from around the world, from athletes to activists to the U.S. president. The IOC, though, says it has Putin's assurances there will be no discrimination. He has repeatedly said as much. Here again, after an Olympics volunteer asked whether the rainbow-colored uniforms would break his anti-propaganda law. We don't detain people on the street. We don't hold anyone responsible for those relations. Unlike a lot of other countries in the world, you can feel free in your relationships, but leave children in peace. The very next day, a protester who unfurled a rainbow flag during the Olympic torch relay, was tackled and detained. In more recent controversial comments defending the new law, Putin seemed to equate gays and pedophiles, said Russia would need to cleanse itself of anything like homosexuality that might lower birth rate. Any hint of inclusiveness is just for show, says Yablotsky.
We are living in a country of double standards. When we have something like a huge international event, everybody wants to make it happy and good quality. Nobody wants international scandals.
So Yablotsky is helping plan an alternative right after the Olympics. The Russian Open Games will be gay-friendly but open to everyone. But there are no big sponsors and few venues willing to host it. Even at this badminton tournament, the players are afraid, would only give their first names.
The message is that it's okay to be gay. We want to change Russians' attitude to LGBT community.
They're also hoping to meet with Putin. Gessen has other ideas.
What I think we need is not an athletic boycott of the Olympics. What we need is a political boycott of Vladimir Putin. We need to see him alone in the box during the Olympic Games. It needs to be communicated to Russia that it is a pariah for doing what it does. What we're fleeing is not homophobia. What we're fleeing is a Kremlin-organized campaign. I don't plan to come home. I have enough experience with immigration, my own and other people's, to know that when you leave, you leave.
It seems a long way to go just to find belonging.